Well, I wanted just to write on that, don't try this at home, except if you are that fit. Yusuf Samah, our therapeutic coach and our expert in this episode, thank you very much for being with us. And we're going to start immediately because we do have a lot of questions. But what do you mean first by therapeutic coach? We should define this first before going into details.
Yeah. First of all, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. This part of a training that comes after the therapeutic training, which is you interfere with individuals who have posture imbalances. You interfere not with healthy people or athletes, no, with some special cases that needs special trainer who post his deviations and concentrate his work out on your defaults. So by all means, most of the people now, they suffer from sitting or from sedentary actions. So they have problems with their spine, with their shoulders, with everything. So if they go to the gym and they apply this with a personal trainer, they might probably get some injuries. So this is the type of workout or the trainer that you need to look before you do any exercise, is the therapeutic trainer who can take you with your deficiency and with your pains, not after just a surgery, after you have your rehabilitation completely, but to start working out on a functional basis due to your imbalances.
Let's start from scratch.
Okay.
I am now, I'm not going to say a patient, I'm a client, let me say so. And I am working as an employee. I mean, just sitting in front of my computer on my desk. It's for 10 hours, for example, I'm just sitting like that. And I began to suffer from neck pain, from back pain and stuff like that. And I do not have time to practice sports. And I have you as my consultant. What are you going to tell me?
So first of all, your job describes your posture, which is if you're doing computer all the time, or you're reading or you're writing something, then probably you might have upper cross syndrome, this is the medical name, or round shoulders like most of the people who work on their desk. So this will cause neck pain, of course, because all the gravity is taking your body to the front, which is the spine is not on the correct pose. And the muscles around it, some of them are overactive due to the gravity, and some is underactive. They cannot help you to correct your posture.
Okay.
So what you start to do is posture analysis. I start to see what are the efficiency of your body and what are the weaknesses that we need to work on. After I discovered the weaknesses, I start to put you on the correct track, which is how many days you will work out you need due to your activity, due to your food, a lot of aspects we use, but then we put you on the correct form that you can do some exercises simply at home, or you can start doing some mobility with me. Also, we introduce some kind of myofascial release, which is the connective tissues collapse due to sitting. So we add a range of motion. We break some kind of range to all the joints, so all the joints can work in the full range of motion. So whatever exercises you do or you go to the gym after, you will not get harmed.
Yeah. What you're saying depends on, of course, as you said, my job description, but also regarding my age, my gender, regarding for example, chronic diseases I may have, because if I am hypertensive or hypertensive, for example, this is something which may cause other issues. I mean, you should take it into consideration. If I am obese or overweight, all these things, they do matter.
Yeah, sure, they do matter. In the beginning of everything we do, we have like an RQ test, which are what are you doing, what is the previous operation you had, or what's your medical health, you have a diabetic or your high blood pressure or whatever diseases considered with the heart or lungs. Some people, they cannot get into training without a therapeutic coach, someone who can monitor their activity, monitor their heart rate, how to work on. But I'm talking generally about the most of the people who are sitting at home, 90% of them will get injured. Why? Because sitting means weak muscles, means bad posture.
You know,
with gravity.
Yusuf, why I'm asking this question in a specific, because many people thought that whenever they are not doing a surprise move, for example, or they are lifting something heavy, they are not going to be injured. They do not know that with the years and years of accumulative misuse of the muscles, they can be exposed to dangerous injuries.
Exactly.
Tell me more about this.
I'll speak about what is injury. Injury, it's altered motion. You have a problem with your back or with your shoulder, and then the body needs to do this motion. So what happened is altered motion. Some other muscle chains work to give you this motion. So by repetitive motion, by lifting heavy weights for some sort of time without correction of your posture, or someone who is not doing any sport and then he went to the gym to lift, not correcting the posture, no neuromuscular efficiency for doing this, no range of motion. By time, the injury accumulates. The risk of injury is there, and by time, we call it wear and tear for the joints and for the ligaments, and then the injury is happening.
Your job is to help to help me to avoid the injury,
Yes.
or to repair what the injury spoiled, or both.
Actually, we work on both. The prescription is your goal. I need someone to do a sport who is 50 or 60 years old and he's having a coronary heart disease. So what kind of intensity I should put him on, because he should do a sport, he should do something for his cardiorespiratory system.
Yeah.
In case this person is having some problems, is having old injuries, so I should start correcting the movement and correction of the biomechanics or the kinesiological movement of the human body, and then he can do his sports easily. I'm not taking the person from the surgery room and then we start to work out. No,
Yeah, sure.
after he finished his
Rehabilitation.
and then he come out, there are some problems we can deal with, and we approach some pain until the correction of movement is happening. This takes time, of course.
This is a bad move.
Unfortunately, yes.
I know. Why? Because unfortunately, I've been told that just sitting like that, it's a bad move for me. Why?
Most of the etiquette people...
A leg on the other.
Yeah. Most of etiquette girls or etiquette people, or they sit like this or they sit like this because this should be looking good. But actually, you're shortening the adductor muscles, which is controlling all the hip movements. So whenever you're bending or you flex, extend your knees like this, you will find your knees collapsing.
Yeah.
Because these are tight muscles. Or
Okay,
already
I'm going to...
atrophied.
Okay.
So what will happen is your weight is focused on the medial ligament, this part inside of the knee. So you will find some knee pain from both sides because it's not in the correct posture. We call it valgus knees. And this, we correct the movement by putting some rubber bands so you can resist. I face it too much with dentists, with people who sit on desk most of the time.
This is only an example, and because of this, I wanted you to tell us more examples.
This
because there are
is very bad.
There are many moves which we are doing just every single day, and we don't know that they are dangerous, if I may say so, or describe them as this, and this may lead to other things which we do not want to face.
Yeah, sure. Most of the people who suffer from sitting for prolonged time or driving, also they have weak muscles on the back and short muscle on the core. For example, if you're sitting for too much time and you're like this, then there is a pressure on the lower back. If you're not strengthening every group of muscle and it's opposite, so you balance your spine and you balance your bones in the correct posture, then there is a risk of injury. Risk of injury means by time there will be an injury.
Yeah.
So what we need is to correct the posture in all the plans of motion, while you're standing, while you're sitting, while you're sleeping. We monitor your movement from your standing.
You know what my dream is? My dream is to implement what you have just said in schools, in classes. Because if the boys and girls in the primary even, they do know how to sit and how to sit in a right way, I think this may give us another kind of generation, another way to say that this generation is going to grow up healthy. True or false? Would you please correct me if I'm wrong?
Yes, sure, for that. And I had many cases of young boys and with some problems, psychological and physiological. And we correct this movement because I found most of them, they have really problems with their spine, like scoliosis, kyphosis, some really bad posture is happening to the children while they are just in the primary school.
Yeah.
So I find a guy like having a kyphosis because he was playing piano too much, or they are studying too much on the bed. So they have, their spine is like C, scoliosis. They sit like this. So all these imbalances will hurt them by time of 40s or 30s, let's say, like the age of 60. So he will have or will suffer the same kind of injury like someone who is 60 years old. So by preventing our population sitting good, working good, having a stability, having good posture and good movement, of course you will have better population in everything, sports.
Yusuf, I beg your pardon, we do have a phone call just to implement what we have just said on the ground, but with an athlete this time. We are very much delighted to have with us Malak Hatem, our basketballer, and she is going to tell us more about what she was doing in the past 3 months, at least with the COVID-19, preventing our athletes from going to clubs and gyms. Malak, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Malak. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Malak, how have you spent your time and how have you kept yourself fit during the last 3 months, as I said, when unfortunately we were out of the pitches or the fields or the courts in your case?
Yeah, okay, so as you just said, I don't have any access to a basketball court. So ever since the storm back in March, I actually haven't went out. I've been staying home. And I figured that I'm going to have to work out at home, and that's exactly what I've been doing for the past 3 months. I've been working out every other day, sometimes doing strength and conditioning exercises, sometimes body weight workouts, sometimes agility in order to be able to maintain my athletic performance. And recently, actually, I've been doing some exercises to maintain my shooting style so that I don't forget the way I shoot. And some of those exercises just included shooting the ball up in the air and just focusing on where the ball is headed so that it doesn't go too far to the right or too far to the left, and so on.
Malak?
Yes.
Are you still there? I'm sorry,
Yes.
dear. By the way, what's your position? Are you a playmaker or a pivot or what?
Yes, I'm a pivot. I'm a power forward, to be specific.
Uh-oh, great.
Yeah.
Tell me also about your nutrition, dear, because I think that your diet is different. Being at home is much different than being all the time training and having your training sessions maybe daily.
Yes, of course. I think that actually nutrition is detrimental right now, so that no one gains weight in this period. So I've been tracking my calories so far, how much calories the intake per day, and that's what I've been doing in order to maintain my weight and possibly lose weight.
Yeah. Malak, also, I'd like to ask you about the other things you have been doing during the lockdown. I mean, have you used your time to read more, for example, to watch on YouTube the matches of your favorite teams, whether inside or outside Egypt? By the way, who is your NBA star?
My NBA
your
star,
idol.
Yeah, it's definitely Kobe Bryant. Definitely Kobe. Yeah, so if we're talking about what I've been doing other than actually training, I think that for the past 2 months I've been very busy with schoolwork because I'm a senior and I'm supposed to be graduating this summer. So I've had so much to do lately. And yes, I have been actually watching matches, sometimes my previous matches, in order to learn from my mistakes and know what I've been doing wrong on the court.
You know, when you say Kobe Bryant, it made me that sad, and and feeling emotional, but it's okay. By the way, I love LeBron James, for example, but Kobe Bryant now, he has such a place in all our hearts. And what about the Egyptians?
There are many Egyptian players that I look up to, whether they're female basketball players or male basketball players, of course.
Yeah. Then you do not have some names in specific?
Of course, the basketball player Sarah Masoud. I think she's one of my favorite players. And Soraya Mohammed, of course.
Soraya, the Cleopatra of our basketball. Give her my regards, would you please do so?
Yes, will do.
Yeah. Malak, thank you very much, and we wish you the best of luck. And next time, inshallah, you are going to be our guest live here in the studio to speak with you and in detail about your journey in basketball. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Back to you, and this is an athlete.
And I just feel pity on athletes all over the world who really suffer from strong muscles, coordination, motion, and then they sit at home. So I really feel pity on them. God bless them, and they should keep working on their fitness components all together.
I was going to give some examples and to implement or to apply what you're saying on those examples. Are you interested in football, Yusuf?
No, I'm not a football interested. I'm more into martial arts and judo.
Okay. I mean, the Bundesliga or the German league, it returned back. And what happened, for example, just yesterday, 2 days ago, with the Serie A, and we all have seen Cristiano Ronaldo. He missed a penalty, and all people were eager to watch this Coppa d'Italia match, but it was very much frustrating. And many people would say that the return back of the even professional players after the 3 months lockdown stoppage of these Premier Leagues, we are going to be very much frustrated with what we are going to see.
Yes.
Should we pity them, as you've said? I mean, I'm going to quote you, or they are professionals and they should have known how to keep themselves fit even at home?
Being professional in sport doesn't mean you should be a good personal trainer to train yourself. This is what I should feel pity for these people more than normal population, because their job is sport, is movement. So when they sit, the body will collapse faster than the normal people because their muscles are stronger, much more thicker, and they will suffer more pain because they need to work on many elements or fitness components. Not like the normal person who has to do just some cardio for his lungs and heart and then some strength and flexibility. No, they suffer. They should work on agility, which is how to speed and change your position. They work on their balance, they work on their explosive movements, on their power phase. So this phase is not like normal people.
Yeah.
This phase is much more higher because they compete.
Yes.
So when they sit back, they will draw back more than the normal people.
Yep.
So that's why I feel pity on them, and I should support more these people by giving more information about please do flexibility at home, range of motion, and some training for your nervous system. Like
and watch your diet too.
And watch your diet.
Because this is another issue which cannot be separated from the exercises they should do.
Exactly.
So what you're doing is having a coaching staff. I mean, you should cooperate and coordinate what you're doing with a nutritionist.
Yes.
Because you cannot work on your own. Would you please elaborate?
For the nutrition, I do nutrition for sports, specific sports. For every person, he should have a daily caloric intake.
Yeah.
Depends on his fitness level and what is he doing. So for example, if you're a sport, if you're doing wrestling or you're doing some hard intensity sport, which is you need more calories than the normal people.
Yep.
That's how they eat. The fighters, they eat, for example, 4,000 kilocalories per day. The football players, the swimmers, all these people, when they sit at home, they should reduce their caloric intake by their daily activity. So if they are used to some kind of food, this is completely
And you
wrong
should
right
make sure
now.
also that your thyroid is okay, to know if you're burning well and there's something wrong with this. Because if there's something wrong with that, whatever you're doing, it's going to be in vain. True?
Exactly. All the endocrine system, which is the hormone system, it changes from sitting at home.
Yep.
Because they are doing too much, so the growth hormone is high, the insulin can shock higher because a lot of sugar they eat. Now they can't do this. They should monitor their food, they should monitor their workout, the range of motion and flexibility, their coordination, and how to react. So this is hard job for them. I feel pity, especially on the kids who are having schools or universities.
Yep. But returning to, if you permit me to nutrition once again, because you said that you also do nutrition. Yeah. If anyone comes to you and told you that, okay, I'm going to do whatever you ask me to do, I'm going to abide by all the rules and regulations, but I cannot live without chocolate.
Okay.
Chocolate, I feel that it's giving me a kind of happiness.
Serotonin.
And yep, or dopamine, whatever, because and I feel it on the spot. But after half an hour or something, I feel bad once again. So it's a vicious circle. How to cut this vicious circle?
Chocolates or any sugary food you eat, it raises your insulin level. So when it rises and then it eats all the sugar inside your blood, then it decreases. The body needs more sugar.
Yeah.
So how to solve this problem? First of all, you should watch your cardiovascular system. You should have at least 30 minutes per day to burn. Something you can get out. And then the intake you take is like separated 4 or 5 days, 5 meals a day. You can add 1 meal of snack, any food that has sugary, and you eat with this simple sugar some kind of complex sugar, like oats, like nuts. This will give you a sustained insulin level, so you will not feel hungry after.
Yeah.
Of course, chocolate is good for the brain cells, for the concentration, for the focusing.
The dark.
But the dark, some ratio, nothing is bad. But how to eat it in ratio or in form, the in should be as the output. But if the input is too much, then the body will reduce the stored fat. But if you burn...
Yeah, great. All what you're saying, whenever it's implemented on the ground, it's really great. But you are going to find somebody who is saying, my sister or my son or whoever he or she is very much related to me. He's burning too much, he's eating too much, and he never gained weight. And for me, the case is totally different. Whenever I smell even some good food, I gain weight. How to differentiate between this and that, and how to stop this from eating, and to ask that to keep or to maintain a healthy way of life.
This is a very complicated topic because we will talk about the body types.
Okay.
In general, the body types are 3. Someone who is fat, they call it endomorph, and someone who is slim, which is the ectomorph. Both hate each other because the slim, he needs to get muscles and get more gain, but they never gain fat. So this type can eat whatever he needs, but he should monitor his sugar level because he might get diabetic if he got genes.
Yep.
But the fat person or the endomorph, he can just smell food and get fat. Why? Because this is his genetic factor, and he is putting some other barriers. The food, the quality of food, fried or not, is it done at home or not? If he's doing sports, most of them, they are not doing sports or not even walking. Let's say the NASM, or the National American System, they say like individuals should walk at least 30 minutes 5 days a week. So if you're doing this, then the risk for heart and lungs decreased by 50%. But
Great.
are you doing this or not? No, I'm not doing any sport. Or you're just eating and sitting on a TV. Then you will get fat because your genetic and your nature and the cells of fat can store easily. But someone who is slim, genetics, I mean not thyroidal or not any...
just genetic.
Just genetic, yeah, they can eat any kind of food and they will not gain fat. The most important thing is they should keep kind of intensity training or hypertrophy training to gain some muscles, because being so skinny has another problem in the movement.
And there's anorexia and bulimia. There are other issues which we do not want to go through. But I'd like to mention another thing, or to ask another question regarding this issue in specific. There is a pseudo feeling of hunger.
Oh.
And how I can differentiate between an authentic or a true feeling of hunger and a pseudo feeling of hunger.
You should first organize your day, organize your meals, at what time you're eating. If you put the biological system due to hours, you will not suffer any kind of hunger on late night crash or whatever. Why? Because the body will be regulating the insulin cycle with the growth hormone cycle. So you will find your body burning, you'll find yourself building better, even the hair quality and the skin quality is better. So that's how the people who have organized life or way of job, that they eat at 12 and 3 and every 3 hours they have the meal, they will not have any sugar crash. But the people who is having like 7 hours between every meal, so the brain needs sugar, nervous system needs to work. So by this, he needs to eat a lot of chocolates and a lot of, let's say, junk food. Okay, and they will feel hungry again because the insulin level is still high. So just organize your meals, prepare good meals, carbs in the morning.
Forgive what I'm going to say, Yusuf, but I'm here just to represent the other side of the coin.
Okay.
You are just, I mean, exhausting yourself doing so and keeping on doing a sports routine every day, and you were advising me to do so. I'm going to go to have a liposuction, 4-dimension contour, and I'm going to be great. In just a month I'm going to recover, and I'm going to keep myself fit without going into these sports. What do you say to those people?
One of the things that make me start the therapeutic training, because I work with people who do surgeries and they do grafting, and after they do grafting, he removes all the fatty cells. But later on, the body will collect again. So if you did this surgery, which is okay for you right now, you have a good shape, you should do exercising to keep this shape. But if you didn't do whatever surgeries you did, you will not find any results. After like 1 month, the body will adapt again to the old kind of nutrition, and it will store again the adipose cells or the fats.
There is another issue which is for me as a mother aching, because whenever my son or my daughter is keeping a healthy life, going to the gym or at least training at home, supplements, amino acids, these growth hormones, I mean, there are many dangerous things which may be an advice from a friend, from a coach. I'm not going to say that there are coaches, because this is illegal, and the coaches who are advising their trainees to be on supplements, they have no values, and they are ethically should be just eliminated from our life in general. To have your muscle that big, and in no time, in 2 months, you are going to be a second Arnold Schwarzenegger and stuff like that. Unfortunately, there are kids who can be deceived by that. If you want to, please tell us more about the dangers of this and how they can spoil the whole body of a young man.
This is exactly the same topic like the doctors who are doing crafting. It's a market. The supplements and the steroids, it's a big market. And of course, we should differentiate first between steroids or hormones or anabolic hormones and supplements, which are the amino acids. The amino acids, for example, the whey protein or the branched chain amino acids or whatever the names on the market, it's supplementing your daily food.
Okay.
So if you're eating the 5 meals in general, which is protein, carbohydrate, fats, you don't need any supplements. It will not give you the best shape, because this is in the end food. So this is a market. Don't deceive yourself and tell, I will take supplements. No, watch your nutrition first. If you're doing a very hard stuff like powerlifting or whatever, and you need to recovery, and this food is disturbing your digestion, okay, you can add some supplements like protein shakes or
Under
whatever.
scientific supervision.
Yeah, exactly. Under a
It's not on your
nutritionist.
own, a nutritionist, yes?
Under a nutritionist. But the steroids or the hormones or the growth hormone, testosterone, whatever we call it, the isotope, this is deceiving.
Yeah.
This is what I see from my job.
I'm happy to listen to this.
it's
This
a
is
market.
deceiving. This is deceiving, okay.
It's a legal market, like I can change you in 3 weeks. No, actually the body needs 3 months, a complete cycle for training to see the result. Then you decrease to 6 weeks. So the mesocycle here, it's different. How I injected a hormone inside your body.
Yeah.
So the brain will stop giving the order for the glands
To
give
release
this
it.
hormone. So what will happen is suppression. So if you're a male now and you're taking, for example, a testosterone, oh wow, and then you stop this, or you're not doing the specific effort for this hormone you're doing, or you're not eating, then the cycle of the hormone system of all your body will be suppressed, will be stopped. So you will find difficulties.
Would be troubled.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So are you sure you're doing for your client all the investigations before you give him steroids? Of course not.
Yeah.
Are you doing bodybuilding for job and for money? Of course not. So this, I will take your money and I will give you a result in 6 weeks. You will come to me back, I need to do another, and I need to do another. So it's a kind of addiction. And of course you're losing your health, you're losing your liver, your kidneys, all the organs inside, it's affected. by
And the
steroids.
least you're losing your money. The least. Sure. Because it's very expensive now. I mean, it's a huge sum of money. Many people are paying for the sake of things which will harm them and will hurt their internal organs. Okay.
Posing also, I need to just explain this.
Sure.
The muscle mass, if you are doing a bodybuilding and you take all these steroids without knowledge is how to give your range of motion, how to do a self-myofascial release, how to have a recovery for your tissues, then most of the bodybuilders, they found them like this, or they like this. Their motion is like a robot, while
Yeah.
they lost the coordination of the body. So that's how they will get injuries, dislocations. They will have back pain. They will have at least bulgement because their weight is to the front, so they
Yep.
will have a lower back pain. Shoulder dislocation and acromion because they are lifting and this muscle, the chest muscle, is taking the shoulder to the front. A lot of injuries they will face, plus the organs will be distributed wrong around the body, so we'll find in the end injury.
Yep. People like you are saying that every extra kilogram just in your upper body is such a burden on your backbone and on your knees. True?
If the kilo I gained is a muscle or lean,
No, not a muscle, fatty.
fatty, it is so dangerous if I'm not correcting the posture and the muscles.
If I'm not correcting the posture.
Yeah.
But, for example, you would find people who are saying that this is my body and I like it like that and I don't want to lose weight. But you want to give him a piece of advice to stay healthy, keeping your weight as is. Is that possible? This is something we are going to discover right after the short break. Yusuf, would you please, I'd like you to comment on these simple exercises, I think, which can be made by all of us, whether heavy weight or, I mean, all age categories, all weights. Tell us more about these simple exercises, please.
These exercises, they are called stabilization exercises. And we are doing here is a range of motion for all the joints, just to stabilize and work the muscles around. So here I'm not doing an intensive exercises or I'm not doing a lifting weight, but I'm just supporting all your joints to work efficiently good, especially the lumbo-hip complex or the lower back.
Yeah.
So these exercises will support you, can do all the vital process of you're doing. For example, you're climbing a stairs or you're lifting weights from the supermarket. So these exercises will support you and give you the backbone not to get injured easily.
Yeah. And for how many minutes, for example, I should do this? I mean, because many people would feel that enthusiastic in the beginning and they do it for half an hour, for example, and just the second day they're suffering from muscle pains and stuff like that. And because of this, they do not continue. How to start gradually not to suffer pain?
These exercises, of course, if I do it on high repetitions and for a long time, they will get me back in, not injury, but we call it lactic acid pain, because you overdo it. So this limits you from overdoing it. If I recommend for someone who is sedentary or sitting at home, like 5 minutes of doing these exercises, simply 5 movements in each plane of movement. So here you give the order for your nerves to work the muscles around each joint. We call it the neuromuscular efficiency. Or here, the range of motion, it differs. So if you see, I work on the sides, I work on the front, and I work on the back, just 5 movements, each plan. Here, I protect my muscles. Are they working good in the full range? So I will not get back injury.
Let's go practical. If I want to search on YouTube, for example, for some exercises which I can practice at home, what I should write? I mean, what I should search for?
First, you should work on mobility exercises and stability. Mobility and stability is the kickstart for everything.
Okay.
If I recommend the duration of the time you're doing it, not more than 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
So after that, your body will get relaxed. After next day, you can have it for like 1 week. This certain kind of
before
mobility.
A meal or after a meal?
It doesn't matter. I prefer if I start my day, because sleeping for a long time, for example 8 hours, then the muscles are collapsed. So you need to start the day with mobility or with active reactive motion. This I give the muscle and the opposite. Every muscle and the opposite. So here you just work your muscle fibers, you push blood to all your body, you have no limitation in the joints, so you can do your day safely without any injury.
You know something, many of even my friends, and here I'm not going to speak about athletes, they feel that sports or such exercises may treat headache. If I do have headache, for example, this headache would go after practicing some sports.
Of course.
True or false, and what's the explanation?
First, the headache might come from stress, might come from blood pressure.
Yeah.
So if it's coming from stress, I mean emotional stress, you should finalize your work
Tension
before.
headache.
Yeah, tension headache.
One of the headaches we have, it's tension headache.
Yeah.
A migraine, one of the, there is a lot of migraines.
Yes.
Certain types of migraines are also included under the big umbrella of tension headache.
So I recommend for this to do some specific cardio exercises like swimming, or of course right now like walking. For 30 minutes, this will increase your serotonin level, your happiness, and then relax and push more blood to your body, so the blood pressure will get less. But if I'm doing some intensity exercises, I mean lifting or even body weight on high repetitions, no, you should first make sure that you're not at risk of high blood pressure.
Yeah, okay.
If you're at risk of high blood pressure, a consultant should work with you or give you the exercise personalized for your level.
Yep.
If you're not suffering from blood pressure or your age is okay, you're not smoker, you're not having headaches, watch your water intake, drink a lot of water, and I mean electrolytes as well to regulate your body temperature and not feel any cramps. And then you can do these exercises as low
Water
moderate.
or liquids, Yusuf? Because many people would consider drinking tea, for example, or herbal drinks, for example, as included under water.
No, water is
Water in itself.
Yes.
Please, if you are going to drink some tea or a kind of coffee or any herbal drink, this has nothing to do with water. Pure potable water is the thing which we do need. True?
Exactly. 2 liters to 3 liters daily. This should be
8 to 10 cups.
8 to 10 cups.
Yeah.
This should be at least for the human body to survive, because 70 or 80% of your body is water. And the salts. What's meaning of salts? Like calcium, like sodium, like potassium.
Yeah.
Because this works the muscle under action. Without salts, you will suffer a lot of triggers and a lot of cramps, and you don't know why. So, for example...
But this does not mean to eat salty things. This is a completely different issue. Salty things will cause water retention. And water retention is going to, you are just going to stand in front of a mirror, for example, and you're going to find yourself that fat. You're not fat. You are suffering water retention, and this is another story.
Yeah.
Yusuf, I'd like to return back to someone who is on his laptop or sitting in his office for hours and hours. There is a piece of advice, I don't know if it's correct or no. Do not sit for a long time in the very same position. Just take around even your office, take a breath of fresh air for 1 minute, for example, and then return back to continue what you have started.
Exactly.
True?
Yeah, so true, because actually by time, muscle fibers for sitting are shortened. For example, these hip flexors from sitting too long time, they got short. Other muscles of the back, they got short. By time, then the muscles are shortened and another muscles are underactive or long.
Yeah.
So this is the main cause of injury. So if he's going on the stairs, he will find his knee pain. Going on a pavement road, riding his car, he will find a lot of obstacles and he will suffer a lot.
Yep.
So if you're doing
changing position.
Yeah, a changing position is so good.
Yeah.
Office hours, now they created something called unstable but yet controlled surfaces.
Yeah.
Like the stability ball or like the air pad. If they sit on the air pad, so naturally they will find themselves activating the back muscles. So the gravity or the center of balance will not have a main impact. And they should walk. Sure, because they should change the kind of movement. If they sit in this movement, some kind of atrophy or the muscles will die. So they need to move in all like 5 minutes. We created for the office some kind of chair workouts. They can do a workout on the chair, like standing and sitting and like twisting and lifting the legs.
Since you're doing so, teach me something to relax the muscles of my neck, for example. If I do have muscle strain here, what to do?
Okay, these muscles, sternocleidomastoid, are getting short from sitting. You need to activate it first by drawing your chin in for like 3-4 seconds.
Chin in?
Yeah, and then relax.
Okay.
And then chin in and then relax. Here, you strengthen the opposite muscles.
Yep.
And you should give them a release or a stretch by looking diagonal here.
Just for 5 seconds in each move.
Yeah, the stretching is like 10 seconds.
Okay, 10 seconds in each move. Okay.
Is the reactive movement or the control movement, 5 seconds. And give your stretch from probably 10 to 20 seconds and then repeat it. So this kind of stretches releases all the tension. And for the movement in all the plans of motion, here you activate all the muscles around
But how
your
to
neck.
manage my breath while doing that? How to manage my breath?
In any motion you do,
Yeah.
in contraction you release.
Okay.
And when you decrease the reaction, you inhale.
Okay.
So in anything you're doing is inhale Exhale while you do the contraction, because you contract your muscles, so you need to release. And then inhale in the less tense
Okay.
periods.
And this can be, I mean, this can be exercised by everyone.
Exactly. For the neck,
Yeah.
we call it the finger back, or you can sit on the wall and reach side by side. Just activation of all the muscles around the neck. And you should give it the stretches.
Let's go a little bit
stretches.
lower to the shoulders.
Okay. For the shoulders, of course, they are the most injured joints because they are not controlled and it's a ball and socket. So what is controlling the shoulder? We call it the rotator cuff muscles. They should be strengthening. We have a very good exercise for sitting. I call it WVLT. Is here you extend the shoulders like V.
V. Okay.
Okay. On this plan, you contract the shoulder blades or your scapula and you go to W. And then you go to L, contracting, and then you go to T. This activates the back muscles and the rotator cuff muscles, and this is the rotation. So here,
These exercises, they do have a name. I mean, I can search on YouTube on such types of...
stability shoulder
I mean,
exercises.
all what we are doing now is included under the stability shoulder exercise.
Stability shoulder exercises, stability neck exercises. This is called upper cross syndrome. This.
Yeah. Yes.
Or they call it kyphosis if it's born, or we call it some kind of round shoulders. So some kind of exercises for the neck of round shoulders. Some exercises for the rounded shoulders themselves, or the kyphosis, how to correct posture. All these goes under the posture correction exercises. That's what we do.
And I hope that this is going to be a trend on YouTube after our episode, because I'd like everyone at home to practice. And these are very simple exercises, and they are going to make your life different, believe it or no. After how many, I'm not going to say days, weeks, for example, I can feel the difference after practicing these very simple exercises daily.
3 to 6 weeks, you will feel the difference. But honestly, after 2 to 3 times of doing these exercises, you will feel the control. I can show some cases I worked with, designers or marketing agents or even dentists. They have problems of the upper cross syndrome. So in 1 or 2 workouts, they are not completely cured, but at least they started to feel the tension on the back. They started to feel the correct posture. So by time, their nervous system will get the information of proprioception, good
Yusuf,
balance.
are you practicing any kind of martial art?
Yeah, judo.
Okay, great.
I was doing for 20 years.
20 years. You know why I felt so before knowing, I swear? Because you're very calm, you're very quiet, because those who are practicing martial arts are deeply calm inside. By the way, everyone who is practicing any kind of martial arts, he has nothing to do with violence, by the way. On the contrary, they are very calm, they are very quiet, they enjoy this smile, by the way, and they enjoy self-confidence, and they know well how to deal with people, every type of people. This is not a compliment, by the way. But tell you what, I felt that what you're doing is for yourself first, because you are all the time monitoring people in the street or while driving, for example, and looking at someone who was just moving like that, and as if you should go out from the car and give him the right position and tell him what to do. And if there is a mom, for example, who is carrying her baby in a wrong way, you would also wanna go and tell her, would you please do not do so, because this is going to hurt you on the long run. Tell me if this is true or false in 1 minute, because we should say goodbye.
Actually, some people, they find me in the cafe with people I don't know, just correct their back, stand up. And someone who is bending something, yeah, please correct your back straight if you're getting something heavy from the ground. So actually, it comes by nature. If you're seeing some kind of posture,
I knew it.
Please correct your posture.
Yusuf Sameh, our therapeutic coach. It was a very interesting episode. Thank you very much. It was really a pleasure, and we hope that all our viewers are going to benefit from the simple steps we have given you with my dear guest live here in the studio. But tomorrow is another day, and wish you all the best of luck. By this, we come to the end of this different episode of Score Sheet. We'll meet again same time on Nile TV International. Many thanks for watching. With all my love, this was Nermin Abdel Rahman.